Okay, so I recently did a tutorial on how to do VLOOKUP, and I shared it with a couple of people, and they both ran into the same types of problems when they were trying to follow along. So I decided to make a new video that uh, points out those two common issues that people run into when they're trying to do a VLOOKUP for the first time. So there is a link to a blog post where you could download the file to follow along. So what is a VLOOKUP? Basically, let's imagine that we have this table here with a list of countries and their corresponding capitals. Then here, let's suppose that in this table, we know the country, but we need to find the corresponding capital. So instead of scrolling through and trying to manually find each value, I'm bringing it back in here like that, the VLOOKUP formula could do it for you. So the way you do it is you click into the cell that you want the value to be returned in. So where do we want the capital? Then you type equal VLOOKUP and then open parentheses. And then you'll notice here that this value here is bold, the lookup value. So Excel will give you hints on the input value that it needs next. And then every time you move to the next value, it will make that bold here. So each value is separated by a comma. So you see how it changes to bold when I add a comma. So lookup value, the very first value that you need to input into the formula is what do you want to search for? In this case, we want to search for Central African Republic. Then I'm going to do a comma. And actually doing the commas is the thing that one of the people got stuck on when they tried to follow along. They didn't realize that you needed commas between each of the inputs. So it won't work unless you add the commas. So that's important. Now, the next thing is what the other person got stuck on, which is table array. So what they were doing is they were clicking here on the first row of the table, but you actually have to click here on the actual column header, like the letter up here. So you click, hold, and drag. And then I want you to notice that when you move to the next column, the number goes from 1C to 2C to 3C to 4C. That's the column index, and that's going to be important because that's actually your next parameter. So in this case, I'm going to click, hold, and drag from A to D. And then I'm going to click in the formula bar, comma. And then for the column index, I'm going to put a 2, which is if I'm searching in column A, the first column, then what column index do I want to return? So 1, 2, the capital. So then I'm going to do a comma and false. Just always do false. It means an exact match. And once you get good at it, I guess you could look into situations where true might work, but false should work. All right, so that works. And then I double click on this little box in the corner to put the formula all the way through. Now, I'm going to click into a cell that has a VLOOKUP, and I'm going to click in the formula bar, and it highlights the cells that are involved in the formula currently. So F2 is involved because it's a lookup value. AD is involved because that's the table array that we're searching in. And then here too, remember we are looking in the first column and then we're returning the second column. So what happens if we put a 3 here? 3. So what happens is when you put a 3, you could see it's returning the value that's in column C here now, which column index 3 means 1, 2, 3. So if we put 4, then it's going to return the value that's in this row here. So you see that when we changed it to 4, all of a sudden it's given us the values that end in 3, which are 4 columns over. So basically that's the VLOOKUP. Hopefully it worked for you, and best of luck.